It's kind of interesting because we've got a very high urban population, which doesn't occur anywhere else in the world, as far as I understand it. And London alone has a population of about 15,000 foxes, which doesn't change from year to year. It changes because about two-thirds to three-quarters of them die every year and are replaced. So, but it's still changed. It still comes out at around about 15,000 as a permanent population. Most British cities have a population now. It's not necessarily large, but all the way up to Scotland, there is a significant population that's become quite normal. That population is fairly stable. And I think it's because while there are hazards, traffic being the most obvious one, life in an urban society is quite easy because we're a very untidy species. We leave a lot of rubbish lying around, a lot of food lying around. A lot of food is thrown out of car windows when people drive away from McDonald's, that kind of thing, And so foxes find it fairly easy to make a good living in an urban area. And they've still got the natural prey like mice and rats and voles and birds. So they just got it that little bit easier. So I think they're hanging on and doing very well. In rural areas, the population has declined since the 1990s by around about 43%, according to the latest scientific surveys. And that's largely being considered to be down to farming methods. Some of those farming methods are overuse of pesticides in particular, which is a major concern for people in this country. Farmers will buy something over the counter that's kind of a pesticide to try to improve their soil or try to improve their crop yield. Excuse me. And it'll say on the can, use this amount and you will expect to see this kind of improvement. And instead of using that amount, they'll use 4 times that amount because then it will give them 4 times that amount of improvement. And of course, most of that pesticides is just washing off the land into ditches, into water, into rivers, into streams, and that's poisoning wildlife. Not always poisoning them in terms of killing them, but with some species, it's causing them to their fertility to go down, so they're not breeding up to the same numbers. So, of course, if you're doing that to and affecting insects, then you're going to affect the birds. If you're affecting the birds, you're going to affect the mammals. It's just a complete knock-on effect. So, in effect, the concern is in rural areas with foxes, the decline is largely down to the prey species not being so available. And, of course, they don't have that added advantage of McDonald's being thrown out of the car window.